of grand assembly has finally dawned upon us. For today, we shall perform the most delicate and sacred task of sewing our 4 cherished signatures into our journal cover. Welcome back to Rosewood Manor Prints. My name is Sarah. We have spent many an hour meticulously decorating our pages and fortifying our cover. But like a debutante awaiting her introduction to the ton, these elements remain separate and incomplete. Today, with needle and thread in hand, we shall bind them together forever, transforming a collection of paper and lace into a singular, breathtaking volume of memories. So here's what you will need to sew in your signatures into your cover. I have here a template for you. It is a freebie that you can download. The link is in the description below. And this freebie template is a spine template for a 2.5-inch spine or for a 2-inch spine. So whatever spine size you wish to use, you have the option with your freebie. You want to print out the template for your spine size. Then you will also need some embroidery needles or bookbinding needles that are large enough, that have a nice grip. Some thread. I have here thread from a bookbinding kit, and that works pretty well. Some clips. You can use bulldog clips, or these are sewing clips that work really well, but they need to be really strong clips, so you want to make sure you have good strong clips. You will need an awl or something pokey, something pointy pokey that you can use to put holes. I like to use a piece of foam also as a stopper for the awl, so it doesn't injure anyone. I prefer to use a crocodile, the big bite, because it has this deep bite, if you will. So it has this deep bite, and it's a lot easier to make holes in the journal cover and to also put a eyelet for the tassel. So, but if you don't have a crocodile, that's fine. You can simply use an awl as well, of course. I have the crocodile also linked below. Of course, you will need your journal cover that we made in our last video. So we only finished it half because today we will be sewing in the signatures. And you will need your signatures that you want to sew in. So let's get started. So I went ahead and I cut out the template. And the first step is to make holes in the template. And as you can see here, the holes in the spine template here and for the signatures are lining up exactly in the same distance, and that's the benefit of having a template. That makes it all so much easier. So this template is for 4 signatures. You can see the 4 holes here. And so we want to make some holes here. And same goes for the spine template here. Next, let's fold our templates. So we want to fold this template first here for the signature. And I like to fold it in a way so where I can see the line and where I can see the holes so that they're all lined up perfectly. And then I simply fold it the other way. So now I have my signature template. And next I'm going to fold the spine template the same way along the line where I can see the line first, and then I fold it this way. So we'll open our journal cover like so. And then we'll attach the template. Next, we'll mark the holes here on the journal cover, like so. And then we remove the template. And now you want to make holes where you marked here the cover. And you can now use either an awl or you can use your crocodile. If you use a crocodile, you want to set your hole punch to the 1/8 size, which is the smaller size. And here we have our holes for our signatures. Next, we want to put holes in our signatures. And for that, we'll find our center of the signature and we'll take a ruler and we make sure that it is all stacked nicely. And we add our template in like so and stack that as well. So this stacking motion we'll do a few times as we are preparing the signature, just to make sure that it's really nice and together. And now we'll add the clips to it. And so this is what it looks like. You'll have your clips here with the template here in the middle. And now it is time to make some holes in it. So any type of packaging foam is good. So you want to hold the signature like so in a V, and then what you want to do is you want to slide over the clips to remove the template. Otherwise you would sew in the template, and we don't want that to happen. You just slide them over like so, and then you have your template back. And your signature is ready. Before sewing in the signature, I'm going to tame the ribbon that we have here. So I'm simply going to wrap it around, and then I'll put a little paper clip here so that it doesn't get in the way, like so. Right. Now we want to make sure always to double check, right? So this is the right side up, and so now we're opening it like so. So I like to use about 4 times the length of the journal for the thread. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then simply thread it through the needle. So it's really nice to have a large, thick needle that is easy to grab. So these come in many bookbinding kits, but you can also use an embroidery needle. And then what you want to do is you want to attach this tail to your signature so it doesn't run away from you. So we simply use a clip and clip it into place like so. We are using a simple pamphlet stitch here. And so you always want to return to the middle. That's my mantra here for sewing it in. So we start in the middle, and we are going through the first hole here in the middle. And we're coming out here. Then we'll go to the top. We're returning to the middle. We return to the middle. And since we already covered the top, we'll go to the bottom. And so now, to tie your thread you simply go here from the side under the top part, so it has something to hook into. You release the tail, and start to tug on it a little bit to make sure it's taut. Then tie a knot and really tug on it, make sure it's taut. I mean, don't rip it too tight, but don't tug too much on it, but just taut enough. And you can also test it here. So if it's too taut, you can release it a little bit. So before you tie that final knot, so here we go. So it's secure. Simply gauge. So not too taut and not too loose. So you want to just double check. How does it feel? Is it too loose? Then you want to tug a little more. There we go. Again. Yes, now it is perfectly tight, and we'll make another knot. There. Then you release the clips. Like so. And our first signature is in. Perfect. There we go. Yes. So now we repeat this step 3 more times. So I completed all 4 signatures. So they're all in now. This is always the most fun moment. So now let's complete our rest of the cover. I like to make a little mark here. Make sure my glue is where it needs to go. And then we'll add the other medallion from the journal collection. And I have here some book corners. And I have these jewelry pliers here. So I like to keep the back side of the journal fairly simple because it's going to lay on it, so I don't want it to be wobbly or anything. So this is the back side completed. Now we'll finish up the spine. So I'm always on the lookout for Jacquard ribbon, and I collect them actually. So that way I have always a nice spine cover. Sometimes it's nice to expose the threads for the sewing in of the spine, but I just like to have a beautiful ornate Jacquard ribbon on my journals because it just makes it look so much more elegant. While this sets, I'm going to tie some charms to the tassel here. And I have this pretty flower. And the embroidery yarn that I used to tie the tassel together is perfect for that. So you use your crimping tool like this. You hold the crimp bead like that. And then you simply slide in. And then you press it together like this. And then you have a nice little end for your little dangle charms. And close the crimp bead. Like so. And then simply cut off the tail. So that looks nice and clean. So, and we have some charms here on our tassel. How pretty. Let's take the clips off here. Yeah, and here. So to put an eyelet here on the spine, I will be using the crocodile again. And what I will do here is I will separate the signatures here down the middle. So between signature 2 and 3, we have this gap here, and this is perfect for the eyelet. So let's mark where the eyelet will go. Okay, so I like to place the eyelet as far up as possible, which allows then for the lobster clasp to go around it perfectly. So I'm going to put it all the way as far up as I can, and then we'll mark the hole here. So when you make the hole for your eyelet, make sure to set it to 3/16 to the larger hole punch. So here's our eyelet for our tassel. And here is our lobster clasp with our tassel. If these designs have captured your heart, the Botanical Secrets collection awaits you in our Etsy boutique. Details are listed below. Or if you are viewing this on your parlor screens or television, let this QR code be your magic key. Simply aim your camera and click. The boutique doors are always open for you. There, the final knot is tied, the threads are trimmed, and our Botanical Secret Sanctuary is at last complete. It has been a journey of sheer delight to build this with you, stitch by stitch. However, do not wander too far from the Manor gates. You must join me this coming Tuesday, for I shall be hosting a grand promenade through these very pages. We shall perform a full celebratory flip-through of the completed Botanical Secrets journal, revealing every hidden pocket, every lace window, and every botanical surprise in its final finished glory. Until then, I remain yours in lace and ribbons and with much love, Asara. Good day.